You're in control of it. You don't see it because you're in it, and the outsiders watch it. Sometimes this, to you, a second is millions of years to the others. The others are the human race that they count the time of the age of the universe, where the passengers of the universe travel across the universe in seconds. That's why the time does not exist in universal condition. Now you understand the mystery of the creation, if you have a true soul to see. That's why you see, in so many ways, for you was one flash of light. And I can put you there, structure the same thing, the mankind will watch for hundreds of years and they will see nothing, because to them is a long time, but to you is what you have achieved in time. This is what I said. We see many of the spaceships outside the Earth, but to man, they look like stars, but they've never been stars. A lot of stars you see in the sky are in that position, because time does not exist. If you're an observer of the matter state, you go by the time of the state of the matter. And this is why you keep on repeating, to me it was, but my wife says she could see the slow motion. If you could have made the right combination, to you would have been a second. When you come out of it, when the system hit the ceiling and the time had to convert, your children could have been hundreds of years old. Time dimension does not exist in the universal balance. And now you have opened the door and people can try. Just be careful, very, very careful. I showed this initially in the Sana 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where we could see the traces of the fields created by the gases in the 4 reactors, kilometers down in the sky clouds and information of the clouds. Because I see through, many of you have started this process. If your intention is in there to show, it will show. The spacecrafts will be kilometers wide. It's you who has to be the passenger to be part of it. The change of the technology is very rapid. The whole understanding is the simplicity of it. And this is what a lot of governments have been shaking and shivering for. In a coming time, now that you have achieved this and you start doing it, we will start seeing the creation and the channels of communication with the universal community. Man is maturing very fast. We have asked for a direct line of contact and opening of the universal community, and has been granted. Our only request from the governments is, do not shoot. Do not take action. Do not take any position to defend. The missions are peaceful, but if need be, man will lose life in one state to another, as we do not stand for destruction. Our message to the world leaders is very simple. You do not capture us. We have come and we delivered the technologies and the hand of friendship. The message, very, very, very simple. We said, once one breaks through, we go to the next step, because the maturity will pass on to the others. In a coming time, in a very short time, a large number of what you call UFOs, or whatever we call spaceships, will be made by man. And by creating these fields the way the ball has gone through the wall, you will see there is no walls on this planet, and you are amongst the universal community. It was explained by Douglas that you could see a light from the top like a pencil going in. If you do it the right way, the light will pencil out and opens the atmospheric condition of this planet into universal community. And you will see you've been sitting in a self-enclosed show. As I said, we have granted the opening of the universal community to human race. And now from today you will see. My advice goes to those who think they have captured. We never get captured. We are here to deliver and open the option. You got to understand how you add materials inside out and how you add material inside in. You understand, I do a lot of works on a 0 time to begin with, which is 9 to 0. Today is 2972016. End of one and the beginning of the other. Try to develop the technology where, wherever you stand in this structure on the table, which you see in the drawing, you decide if you want it to be the food, you want it to be the light, you want it to be the matter. You decide from now on what you need with this system you have, by positioning yourself accordingly. In your crafts you build, this is what happens. When you're hungry or you're having a need of energy, you go to the specific point in the craft. This is where the energy at the level of human amino acid will be there. You want a light, you create a condition that will be all. You want a darkness in spaces where you want to be in dark, it will be created. You want to have food in the shape of banana and everything else will be done. It is very simple. When I asked Douglas to join the Keshe Foundation Innovation Center, we know the soul of the man, not the physicality. But we knew this will come. It's the same with the others around the Keshe Foundation. And now it's our job. As I said, we entered the world of politics in July. I gave a couple of hints, and you're all in it. Because, in a way, with building this system, we have finished with nationhood. We become one planet. Because where is that ball going to land next time? Washington, Tehran, Beijing. Now the knowledge belongs to you. Hundreds of thousands of you who've seen this, replicate it, understand the control between the acidic and alkaline, gravitational and magnetical, energy, sugar and salt. Then you understand we have started the process of the unification of man with the universal community. The Universal Council will meet in its initial state next week, and we set up the first steps for contact. Those who've been accepted as members of the Universal Council will understand. For the first time, we call the members of the core team to join. And that'll be the first time, and most probably the last time, to rejoin the two. That's why no member of the core team can be a member of the council. The core team is what you call the CH. And the Universal Council is the alkaline. You receive till you mature to become the givers. Any question?
Thank you, Mr. Cash. Thank you, Douglas.
I wondered if you could just say that last sentence again, Mr. Kesh, that the universal, the universe becomes the universal, or was it the universal becomes the universe? Thank you.
Either way you like to do it.
Okay, kind of broke up there.
The thing is, the Universal Council will meet, as I said, in the coming days. It's been requested this morning. And with it, we meet with the members of the core team. And we establish the first lines of contact between humanity and the universal community. By that time, hopefully, a number of you will be able to achieve the production of the systems. You will see the light, you understand the conversion, you understand all the possibilities. But there is one thing to remember, very important. Do not forget any of the teachings from day one, because the way you came from the matter to the state of the plasma and the unified field, you need to go from the unified field of the plasma back to matter. That's why we taught this way, that you understand from your point of view where you come and what you can go back to. Every teaching in respect to the energy, agriculture, medicine, and everything else has to be understood, because in the space, if you convert yourself into a matter state of the region or a destination point, and on that planet or in that space in the universe, they eat rocks of gold as food, you're trying to create wheat and bread which don't grow, will starve you to death. That's the time when you will convert back to the universal energy. And that's why we taught this way. Try to understand how you convert matter to energy and how you convert energy to matter. One is a taker, a stable condition, and one is giver. How you convert acidic into alkaline and alkaline into gans and the gans into matter state, and you make the body of the man. You do it every second in millions of times in your body. Now you have to understand the process. If you are going from one to the other, are you giving more so you become more alkaline, or you're giving in a way by taking that it keeps you in a state of alkaline, or you're a total giver that you want to end up in a state of matter that you become acidic, or what we call magnetic. I taught this yesterday, and the first unit has been made very simply. Renan, are you in the background by any chance?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Renan, can you share with us the one you made with the two alkaline and acidic in the center yesterday? And
The balls?
measurements of the floor? No, it's the tube. It was like an ampoule.
Okay, sir. For a while, the cylinders, the one that
The cylinders.
created with the
Yes.
millivolts, the one I showed you. Okay, sir. For a while,
Yes,
I'll
please.
get the picture.
Thank you very much. So you understand this is not accidental. I set up the teaching this way with a specific group. I enjoy working with a Philippine group and Douglas, and I share knowledge with them freely, and they always keep the secrecy till we decide. There is a lot of development in the background with them, and we talk and share very openly. I enjoy working with Verdi because he has understanding of the soul of the man. And I teach, and the reason you see these things coming out of innovation is not just accidental. There is a lot of work goes in the background. We talk frequently, we meet, we discuss, and slowly elevate the conditions. So in a way, the Innovation Center is the arm of the development of the knowledge which I carry. Would you like to share with us? Have you found it?
Not yet, sir. I think it's in the phone. I'll check my phone.
Okay, thank you very much. So what we've done in this structure, we have created a vertical condition like the human body, which is very much, Renan will show you, we went out to create a condition where we have put alkalines on two sides and we created acidic in the center. Energy transfer. This is very much, if you look, very, very simple. It's another version of your stomach, where this is your intestine going through, and these are your rest of your body. If you look in the course you build, again is the same. This very, very little acidic can create a mayhem for alkalineness and vice versa. I started working about 3:30 this morning to be able to bring this on, but now you understand, it's nearly 11, 12 o'clock, 12:30. I already worked nearly 23, 24 hours a day, more or less at the moment. But
I got the picture, sir.
the knowledge has to be completed. Can you share with us? You go under your share screen.
Okay, sir. I'll share screen. So it's just the guns that are different here. Some of us have tried this before, but this is the way, the one where we knew the guns have its roles. So can you see my mouse?
Yes.
I'll just describe. Okay, sir. So this area here and this area here are both, I think in this setup, this is more acidic because this is the composite guns. And the center is the CH3 guns alone. And in between them, there's just, we just put a nano-coated copper spiral and a baking paper divider with using sand in baking paper with sand in the middle, and we just solidify it just to create a transfer of fields, and we can tap the certain portion of the field. And what is just amazing is that even we stay this for several hours already, it can have, it is a stable system wherein there's continuous fields from the ends going to the center. So we pick some, it's still millivolts, but this is the principle here is that there are portions that is continuous transfer of fields from this side going to the center. So if we change this to the other side, maybe there will be another portion that will an opposite field, opposite direction from center going out. So if different guns will be introduced as well. So this setup here below is similar to this, but we use patches, just plastic patches, and we open in between them. We still use our middle electrolyte system, which is we use the sand and the baking paper just to be in between them so they can interact. And so it just has a continuous flow of voltage, and it has also amperage as well. So still in milli, but in this aspect, it's amazing that it is stable. So it's not erratic until now. If I test it, still test it right now, it still has its millivolts. Then I retested it again. I just charged it. So by putting 12 volts on these two nodes, so it holds electric charge. So then it drops to a certain level of voltage, but it can hold up to 1 volt for about an hour of charging, and then goes down. So, but that's not the point here. But the point here is there's a continuous flow of fields that keeps on moving even without any external factor that is being produced, that is being applied to it. So there is a the thing that we want to see here, if the when there's a movement in this area, if these guns are continuously moving, but when we look at it, there is the guns are still on the bottom, and the water is still. I think the action is doing here in the intersection where the coil was going in. So we cannot see yet the movement in this area. So that's the one thing that we're looking into. Then Douglas made this into a ball setup. That's why he rotated the ball and find that experience today. So we want to see if having the different acid base, and then the other thing that we're looking into is using the dried guns dried guns and mix it back to in a liquid state. So that's another one that we are testing here. So different dried ganses and put with the liquid guns or the wet guns and with sugar. If we can create more basic more basic guns and add some acidic guns.
I think, let me explain this because we haven't taught this in public. You know it in the private teachings.
Yes.
Okay, because Renan is referring to something which is not known in public, so I explained to them that I have to teach this, but I explained to them, and Douglas found a reference in the books. So what we're going to teach, you will see, you understand a very big difference in the teaching, or adding to the knowledge of the teaching. Up to now, what you have seen. Can I have my screen, please? If you got anything else, you can share with us later on, please. It's okay. Thanks very much, Bernie.
Yes,
Thank you. What has happened up to now, you have seen only liquid plasma, which is the water state of the gas. But if you go to the book, if you go back to the original book, I don't have the books with me. If you got it in front of you, you can tell me the page. In all my work, I now work only with the liquid plasma. I started with the GANs. If I mix the GANs with the water liquid, I have a freedom in a different shape. If you look at the book, the picture is on the plastic. It looks like a gel. I work with a gel of a GANs. Gel of a GANs has a lot of properties. You up to now been using one type of GANs, which is a liquid plasma. The GANs gel, which is you add some salt to it if you want to become magnetical or gravitational, or you add sugar to it, that it makes it magnetical. And then when it's very much what I taught you in respect to putting the GANs into the papers. When you add the GANs to the paper and you wrap it for your coils or your capacitors. If you let it go in a gel and then add any sugar or salt to it, which allows the availability of the hydrogen to be given, if you're using sugar, it becomes a giver, it becomes magnetical. And the salt, because of the presence of oxygen, becomes in attracting oxygen to itself, and in the presence of other materials in the combination of the GANs, becomes gravitational, and then as it receives more, it gives, and the capacitor becomes a generator. So you can use a gel condition. You can go further and dry the GANs. If you have the book, you see the powder which I show. And this dry GANs has different properties again and application in a space technology. It has a huge application. So up to now you were playing with a liquid GANs and the solid state of the matter. With the GANs you do the same. You can play with the liquid plasma, you can play with the gel of the plasma, you can play with dry plasma. And you will see totally new directions. Those of you who get the dry powder and mix it with the water, you will find different properties than actually when you play with the liquid GANs. Those of you who play with the gel and then you mix the gel with the water, you will find out totally different properties. So, as I said, I can teach you for the rest of your lives and you still haven't learned 1% of what totality of the universal creation is. But if you understand the way you play with the gas, with the GANs, and with the liquid and solid, if you understand this in the dimension of the GANs, now you can play the same game. But in this state, there is no interaction of the heat or pressure. The field is constant. It gives you a feasibility of having interactions in different dimensions. If you mix them, then you'll have different things. If you mix nano material in the gel, or if you mix the nano material in the dry gas, or add the dry gas to the liquid gas, totally different properties. This is a new teaching, and a lot of you, it's a new teaching, and a lot of you needs to learn. You played with the water, ice, and vapor. Now, there, heat had a say. Here, if you understand very rapidly, you will understand in this game, field strength plays a huge game. You give or you take. And then you can play new games, new toys, new ways of playing with the universal energy. It's when you become in the state of the dry state of the GANs, if you understand how to do it properly, sometimes you can enter the matter state. This is where the nanoatomic nitrogen on the upper layers, in conjunction with the moisture of the water, leads to creation of matter state nitrogen. How you absorb energy from the GANs on the planet Earth, that's the oxygen interaction, you convert the GANs into a matter. And this is why we get hydrogen when it rains, or when there is a moisture. That is why the lowest moisture on this planet is 15%, because the moisture itself, as part of the float of the energy, needs to add the material to the environment. It's the conversion. It's the oxygen, which is a converter connector, and with it converts, in this atmospheric condition, GANs state of the matter in dry into the GANs state matter, into the matter state itself, and we feel it, tangibility. This is why in our body we eat the food, we convert it into energy and then into its GANs, and then we can hold the hand of the man as a matter state. You create muscles and tissues. Now you can see how in the universe you convert the energies into the ganses, into the powers, and then into the matter. As I said, you can have as much gold as you like, and you can have as much meat as you like. You can become Italians in America. They could never have meat in Italy, but when they found themselves in a continent full of buffaloes, they added meat to their spaghetti, that they still had the sign of the connection to the point of reference of their coming, where it was the spaghetti land, but now they call it bolognese. But if you ask in Bologna from anyone, can I have a spaghetti bolognese, they laugh at you. We say we never add. Spaghetti bolognese doesn't exist. It's the invention of the Italians who went to America, because they never had meat here, but there the meat was free, so they added it to their food. It's the same when you go into space.